after you've chosen your reference photo and you've inserted it into the document on Google Classroom, you're ready to start gridding your piece of paper. Our project paper that we are enlarging our image to is a 12 by 18, and we're making our project 3 times bigger. So that means each of our squares of our grid on our paper are going to be 3 inches by 3 inches. Your ruler is an 18-inch ruler, and 18 is the very end of the ruler here. And your measuring starts at the very edge. Sometimes you'll have a ruler that has like a 0 with a little line. This does not. You're going to start measuring right from the edge. So I'm going to place it even with the top of my paper, giving myself a little bit of room so that I can make my marks. I'm going to put a mark using my pencil really lightly at the 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. I do not have to put one at the end of the paper because that's the end of the paper. And then I'm just going to slide my ruler down to the bottom of the paper and do the exact same thing, making sure that the edge of the paper is right at the edge of the ruler, making really light lines. Remember that any pencil lines that we use for our grid, we are going to end up erasing, so you want them to be really light. Then, since you have your measurement at the top and the measurement at the bottom, you're going to use your ruler to line up with those and draw a very light line. If you need a light line, sometimes you can move farther back on your pencil so that you're not putting as much pressure down, and then just drag that along your ruler and move all the way across, creating your grid. Make sure that you do that for each one of those, and again, your lines should be every 3 inches. Really light pencil lines, making sure that they match up. Usually like to hold my ruler here in the center so that I have a good grip and it doesn't move as I apply pressure and draw my lines. So now I have my first set. Now I'm going to measure at the top. So I'm going to take my ruler again, lining it up, leaving a little room, and this time we have the 3, so 3, 6, and 9. Same thing, move it down to the bottom. Make sure your ruler lines up, draw those lines again. Use your ruler to connect them and draw really lightly. Once you have this and you have all of these drawn in, you're going to start looking at this square by square, the same as we did with our Vincent van Gogh drawing, and we're drawing the biggest shapes that we see first. Looking for outlines, places where there are color changes, or just completely different logos or letters. Go box by box, looking at your reference image. So think of this as kind of that very first box that's in the left-hand corner of your reference, and we're using our computer to just look at it from, because we really don't need a printout. We've got our Chromebook every day. So we're looking in there and looking at where the edge of the chip bag starts. Look at the difference between where the chip bag starts and where it exits. And then I'm going to connect those two and start drawing my corners. Again, remember that you're using your reference and looking that for your guide. And then go to your next box. Where does that line enter? Where does it start to exit? Does it start moving in? Is it wrinkly? What type of edge does it have? Start with really light lines, and then we'll go in later and remove our grid lines so that only the outline of our image is left.